everybody, what's going on? It is Bill with Franklin Loan Center, and it is Wednesday again, and just reaching out to one of my old favorites here. Again, this is behind me is this chart that we put this report out every month. This is just one of the pages, but it's one of my favorites. And just to remind everybody, the red line is 21 years of 4.5% year-over-year growth, right? So if you look at just historical norms, that's about what you can expect is 4.5% each year. So that's the red line. The blue line represents what's really happening. And by the way, that blue line, the way the number that we're using is we pick the average home for the region. So this is just this Temecula Murrieta region. Pick the average size home for the region, which is about 2,150 square feet. And we look at the price action for that type of home. So what this does is it helps take out some of the craziness of just a normal median home price. So you're seeing at 658, 800 is this average price. The median home price is higher than that, but that explains the difference, right? But we think that this number is actually a bit more kind of indicative of what's really happening with pricing here in the area. And you can see that when you look up, when you look up on this corner here, this is the tail that I talk about every time I bring up this chart, right? Because now we're tracking right along this 4.5% growth. And I know there's a lot of talk about prices are way too high. And they've got to come down and all this stuff. And look, there's plenty of examples of prices coming way under this 4.5% line. But when you look at the dynamics back then versus where we are now, it's a totally different story, right? So anyway, I just love to point this out. To me, it actually shows real sanity in where pricing is right now. And again, and despite where rates have gone over the past 18 months now, we've got housing prices being resilient. We're 0.5% off of pricing versus where we were last year. So, and it's funny because our region is just a little bit lower. Nationally, all those numbers, by almost any metric of all the major outlets that actually keep a track of median home prices, they're actually higher again. So, again, this is like, whoa, so what's the big deal? Well, I think a lot of people are waiting for a crash that just doesn't seem to be coming. I can't find a single expert that's really predicting that. I see a lot of headlines, and when you look at them, the headlines are like a lot of the headlines that say a real estate crash are coming are pointing towards office space, so commercial. Look, I mean, anything can happen. My crystal ball is as good as everybody else's, but I think we're in a strong position to be able to say, look, it's a reasonable time to buy. If you can make it happen, make it happen. So that's all I have for this week. I'm Bill. I'm with Franklin Loan Center, and I'll see you all next week.